And we're going to get into this Drake album. This Drake album, which was for the dogs, which then, for me, going into this, that implied this was going to be for his male listeners. This was going to be
dogs.
For the dogs. And I think that, I mean, honestly, I think that generally was the goal here. It's just, for me, the sound missed. It sounded very redundant from what I've heard from him recently. And I feel like I wasn't saying that with Drake. Going into Drake albums, it felt like a J. Cole or Kendrick. And these are the guys that all get compared to one another. When a Kendrick album drops, I really don't really know what to expect. I have some idea, but I know it's going to be an experience. And there's going to be something there that blows me away. There was tracks on here with SZA, the Slime You Out. Totally disappointed by that. That was the lead single that I caught off of it. And yeah, super disappointed by that. And when you contrast that to Kendrick doing the We Cry Together with Taylor Page, who isn't even a rapper, and I just know her from that where they're arguing back and forth. I don't know if y'all remember that from his Big Steppers. That, when I was hearing it, I was like goosebumps. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is a like artistic kind of achievement. With this, I'm not feeling any of that. I'm not feeling an attempt of that. And I hold him to that standard because I think that while he has that obvious mass appeal, he's always been able to still kind of push forward the art form in a way. And I think he's obviously, in my opinion, the number one reason that you hear like Gunna on, top 30 record stations. Like Drake is probably the main reason. There's other guys that came before him that definitely started building that bridge. But the person that made the most progress in his time is Drake. When you think about where he started, where he came from. But I want to hear your guys' opinion, and we'll get more in depth on some of the stuff that y'all will probably remind me of some of the just wild shit that he said.
Well, first, just to catch you, like when you said the K-Dot, when K-Dot drops.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a fair comparison.
Okay.
Because they're all three the great. We got Cole, we got Aubrey, we got K-Dot, right? Mm-hmm. K-Dot drop when?
That's true, like once every 4 years.
It's not fair. It's not fair to do that because Drake, in one album that K-Dot would have dropped, Drake would have dropped 200 records.
Yeah. So, but is it fair to? Is it fair?
So it's always going to hit differently.
Yeah.
It's always going to hit differently.
But in that case, when obviously, like you said, we are going to compare them, I'll criticize Kendrick's kind of like sparsity in releases, but in this case I have to criticize Drake's quality because this is one of the first albums that I'm really like. I give him the pass on the Dance album because I didn't love that album, but I could obviously see he was trying something new, and I respect that. Once again, as a person, I love the art form, so it's like I love to see people do whatever they're gonna do. But then when he came back with Her Loss, I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was. We should have seen Her Loss too, basically on here. Just Drake really get into that sound and really get into.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because when he raps, like he is, then that's the criticism of him. Is that like I mean when you're talking about these like when you're talking to hip hop heads is he really a rapper to be compared with J. Cole? I think honestly so. Now you can criticize does he write the shit or whatever. That's a whole other conversation. But
as far as his ability to be an MC and like his bars, I mean again we've talked about this before. He's one of the most impactful artists, not only of his time, but I mean that we've ever really
even had. Outside of hip hop.
Outside of hip hop for sure. I do feel like this album seemed a little forced. It seemed rushed. I wish he would have taken more time on this. I mean, I was really looking forward to it. And the way that I really listen to albums, and it may not be the right way, but I'm fucking really busy. Yeah. So I play it through, right? And then I try to, like, stop and, like, favorite the songs that, like, really, like, catch, man. There's really not much on this album, man. And that kind of, like upset me. It was one where it just kind of played right through. And I went through and I got back to the first track. I'm like, how in the fuck?
Bro, there's some shit I was literally cringing. Listening to it with
I was listening to it with my girl, forced, bro. Like, and it's like Drake.
I was listening to it with my girl. Isn't that when you're supposed to listen to Drake? But it wasn't working.
No.
She was like, "What the fuck?"
I listen to albums is way different than the way you do it.
Right. Yeah.
So it takes me more than one time to listen.
Oh,
to
sure.
An album first.
And me too. And by the way, I want to say, like, because I respect how much people put into it, I feel like you owe that. Oh, and I know, obviously, like I said, I got you that last second or whatever. But and thank you for finding time to listen to it. But I'm on the same page as you. I want to hear more of what you're gonna say. But
so and also it's like different settings, so I'm listening to it on the way to work.
Yeah.
When it dropped on that morning, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, but there's times I need to listen to it like when I'm chilling in the house cleaning, or you know what I mean. And that's not just Drake album, any album. It got to hit me. It got it, so I can't even really give you a true
to get the full experience. That is important.
And also for the dogs, I was confused by the title.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm the same way you guys are. Like, okay, is this coming for his male artists?
Right.
Yeah.
Hip hop, like, you know.
For all my boys.
For all my boys.
Right.
All right, guys, calm down.
I don't think that's what he meant by that though. As I'm listening to the album, I don't think that's what he meant by that.
What do you take it as?
I'm thinking he's meaning by, like, I think it's real toxic Drake.
Okay.
Like when the song "What Would Pluto Do?"
Yeah.
So like for all the real dog, like,
yeah, it's disgusting.
Disgusting guys, sicko guys.
Am I gonna fuck her? Yeah, I'm a fucker. Basically, is the hook.
What would Future do? I'm a fucker.
Yeah, like, I'm a fucker. So I'm gonna do that.
I don't think it's more so like a, hey, I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna bar you guys out and show you guys I can rap.
For all my set.
For all my homeboys to show y'all, hey, I can still rap. I think he just went to show like to a deeper level, like, hey, like I'm going through some shit. Because if you hear the album, he's very transparent. He's going through shit.
Yeah. Do you have something to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was misconstrued by the title. Like, I thought I was going to get some old Drizzy. Right. I thought I was going for some headshots from people's head tops. And even the sound, like, that's one thing coming in. Drake changed the whole sound of music. Like, the sound. We didn't get that. Like, this is sounds like we heard this all before. You know what I mean? And that's what music is coming through on a whole. Sure. Like, the whole music, everything sounds just so similar. But even with other rappers right now, like who's the hottest rapper out? Like Lil Baby was on the run, right? Mm-hmm. People's tired of hearing Lil Baby now because they say it's all sounds the same. Sure. So people wanted to hear something, and you're expecting it from Drake, right? You want to give him the title. People know what it is, right? Yeah. They might throw shots at him. But they can never disrespect where he's ranked.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, his impact has already happened. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you're not gonna disrespect. Like don't try that boy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, but he is still in kind of like a little bit of a race. You know, that's currently it's still happening, and I think that people, depending on who you are and who, and I think this is part of the argument that Drake isn't that concerned with really satiating like the hip hop audiences. Whatever they think that he needs to be, you know what I'm saying, and maybe that's where I'm falling into, you know what I mean, with Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, the other two that are being compared in this scenario. They both check that box critically, and then also have those huge sales that are not on the level of Drake, but and they also have unique sounds where now people sound like Drake, and they've taken his sound and just like warped it, and he takes people's sound, so he sounds like a lot of people. So it's like, I don't know. Here, I think that was really glaring, and there was some shit that as I'm getting older with Drake, listening to Drake, it's like some of the shit is just like, I'm kind of like tired of hearing you say that. You're somebody that I was listening to when I was like in high school 14, or whatever, 15, like maybe middle school, 18, like when So Far Gone dropped, and I'm relating to that and I'm getting something from that, and then you continue to progress and I feel like I'm still getting something from that. But then at this point, I'm feeling like I'm listening to the same shit you've been talking about, this vapid kind of like lifestyle that you're trying to like portray and paint, and there's not really anything past that. Like, really, you're mentioning your son a little bit more, but you should be getting more into that.
I will say this though, just give you some quick pushback. I don't think it's a lifestyle he's trying to paint, bro. I think it's a lifestyle we don't understand.
Yeah, he really lives it.
No, but we already have heard it, so that's his responsibility. There's other, like, he could get, and he has the ability to really get into these kind of like interpersonal relationships that he has, and make him relatable as an artist. That's his job as an artist. And like I said, if it works, it works. But yeah, go ahead.
I think you should have more people in this corner. Like, I think he's too big now. Somebody needs to tell him, like, yo, bro, this shit
ain't working.
Yeah, this shit might be trash, bro. Like, you got to go back. Like, or
go get Dre,
or get the fucking writers. Go get Quentin Miller back. Right? Do something.
I think, you know. I mean, I don't know. To your point, I think like maybe a really hands-on producer. And to your point with Dre, I don't know if it's Dre or not, but I think maybe having a producer that he works hand in hand, somebody that listens to all kinds of hip hop. I think with most artists, that's when you end up really having a great album, is when you have an artist get with a single producer and they do a whole project together. Those are some of the most cohesive projects I've heard. Go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So you saying he don't got it no more?
Who, me?
If you saying go get Quentin Miller, you saying if it's time to rap, he can't rap.
I mean, I'm just doing it as a joke, but I'm just saying the shit that he just produced, like, that shit's ass.
There
like,
are some definite misses on that.
But
again,
I just don't think
23 songs.
23.
That's too many.
When he's
cut that shit down, we don't need that.
Whoa, disagree.
When you're put on that pedestal,
yeah.
I don't think it's in him anymore to give you that.
Right.
Like he doesn't have any more to give. Like he's just like, yo, what else can I do?
That's why he's taking a break.
Why can't I go
through more experiences?
But how many no men instead of yes men, to your point, does he have in his corner? And what I meant about go get you a Dre.
Yeah.
It's not about go find Dr. Dre and say, hey, I need to do an album with you. But what M and 50 and Dre have always said about each other is that they have no problem checking the other and saying, hey, listen, man, this shit is garbage.
Everything is garbage.
To their opinion. Some
of that shit, I don't know if they were completely honest about. But
no,
whatever.
again,
we gotta check
to
back
their
in a week.
opinion, though. You know what I mean? To what they think. So what I think is that he needs some more people like that to be able to say, hey, listen, man, like this shit ain't this is repetitive. You need to put something more heartfelt out, something that I feel like is more passionate.
I don't find it repetitive though, personally.
How so?
I don't feel like he's rapping about the same things, bro. Like, what did he say?
It's not always about some bitch that he's fucking scheming on somehow and fucking gets over on in the end, like a fucking sick movie.
Yeah, but they're all different scenarios.
all different stories. All different stories.
If they was the same thing, it's like, but it's a different. Like, damn, another one.
So,
and that's what I'm trying to say. We can't relate. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he got too many stories, man. I don't know if I can take another one.
We hit on this before, man. Adam Levine got to this point. I feel like in his career where like everything felt lazy.
I'm gonna listen, but you Adam. I'm listen.
It's just how I correlate things. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's how I correlate things.
Yeah,
but when you look, it's like lazy. And we hit on this, and I feel like there's a point where Beyonce got where it's like all this lazy ass music, where it's just okay. I know I can put this out because everyone's going to buy my stuff, and I want to talk through the song. I'm not going to sit here and really give you a ballad or give you anything that's going to crush you, hit your soul, right? And I feel like that's what I just fucking got from Drake.
Sometimes that doesn't resonate.
23 songs.
But I would have wished you on to Beyonce because Beyonce, I've seen motherfuckers crying.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like that's just fandom. I feel like that's fandom.
I think sometimes it doesn't resonate. I think she's honestly, I disagree with that. I think she's still making music that is speaking to people in different ways. Like as far as like I said, she's able to take her life, which is insane, and then she's able to kind of like distill it in a way to her listeners where they can relate to riding their man's dick.
I just think when artists,
that works. It works.
I think when artists are 10, 15, 20 years in the game, they start caring more about how they want to make music and more about how we receive it.
But this is how you. But hold up, Drake's almost 40 years old. This is how you want to make music, like for 23 times in a row.
Thank you.
You know, that's my only thing. You know what I mean? I don't even have. There's some of the shit like the Pluto shit I liked. I thought that was. It reminded me of, and I thought it was cool that he named it. What would Pluto do? Because it reminded me of the track that they had together. The fucking one where they're playing soccer and shit. Either way, I know it's not meant for this. That's what I want to say. It's something very similar. Yeah. Damn, see, because it's like, that's the problem when something's right there and you're like, I really want to think of. But either way, it sounded like another song that they had together, and was reminiscent of that. I thought the callbacks on it, he had interesting schemes on that, like flows that he decided to take. Some of that shit literally sound like he's just moaning in a studio, and he's just moaning in the studio, crooning some like bullshit. What the fuck was the one song where he was saying gangy? Oh my god, he's like, you're too down with the gangy. I was like, this man's 40 years old talking about gangy. What the fuck were we even saying?
Another thing we noticed though is that he sees everything. He took his shot at Dylan Brooks,
bro.
Bro, he sees everything, bro.
10 years from now, he invites me to his house. I need to remember not to accept the invite because it probably will be to.
But you're gonna hear about it on track.
It's just like they've said about boxers.
Yeah.
It's hard to get ready for the fight when you're sleeping in velvet sheets, right? Or satin sheets. What the fuck? I'm too poor to know that shit.
No, I got you.
But what I'm saying is like I feel like you lose that passion. So I feel like, hey man, you get that fucking passion back. Give me something a little better. Because again, it's not that it's a bad album.
It's
just
that
what we expected. Yeah. We want you to be giving us the album of the year every single time.
And I think you were right. You were right. I think you were right because I think we were wrong to assume like, okay,
right,
for the
what
dogs,
it was, and that's fair.
Yeah, and I think we were wrong on that. And that may, and to your point, after a week, maybe our expectations kind of change after hearing it with those ears.
I just think first.
You won. Oh my God! What this man just? No, that was not a Skip Bayless move, brother.
I think first of all, there's no way y'all went through that album and heard everything he was trying to say.
No, that's fair.
No. I listened to it several times though. I feel like as a educated hip hop fan, I have a general idea of what I just experienced. I agree that, like I said, and I agree that my conception, my expectations coming in were completely off with what you said. I think the For the Dogs is more for like, hey, this album's going to be all about scheming on a bitch and fucking, you know, whatever.
Well,
like,
I don't even think it's for that. I think it's for, hey, I'm going to give y'all what y'all want. We've been asking for this.
We have been.
Yeah.
We've been saying like, yo, when you know what I mean? And we got a little taste of it on Her Loss. Yeah. We got a little taste of it on Her Loss. You know what I mean? And we thought like, okay, coming off of that, I mean, the album got pushed back and it's coming. It got teased, and we're like, yo, we were ready for it to drop, and then it comes out.
When they had the hair clips in, though, we should have knew. That was the thing. Yeah. We should have known. Because I agree with you. I think it was right to assume that, but when he had the hair clips in, we should have
Also, when he dropped at 8 a.m. in Charlotte the night before, I'm like, okay, this really is going to be like a hip-hop album.
That's what.
That is true.
All of his 8 a.m. series, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they go crazy.
He's going crazy.
So how? Okay,
no, but that's a fact, and that's kind of, it's misleading, whether intentional or not.
in Dallas?
Because the rest of the album, the rest of the album. The rest of the album is way more in line with like Certified Lover Boy. Like, to be honest, it sounds more like that sound than it does in you know.
Yeah. So. I mean, I just think I was expecting more, and I know, and that's the thing with Drake. He probably like, I don't give a fuck what people think. This is what I'm putting out, but I just thought I was gonna get more out of him. You know what I mean?
So were you looking for more songs that bang in the car, or more songs that you can go ahead and lay it down on?
For me, not even that. I was looking
to about good music, bro. I don't care about that shit.
And when you said hip hop, I think if you're somebody that grew up listening to hip hop and really loves hip hop, then that means something to you specifically. I was with Kev on that. I was expecting that was going, not like bang in the car specifically, because 8 a.m. in Charlotte or whatever, it's not necessarily like the beat bangs or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just he creates an atmosphere lyrically, he delivers it's just an onslaught. And that's what
I mean is what you listen to in the car, you know.
I feel you. Well, one thing I just want to say before I forget, when I hear Drake do that in a way, and that's why I want to hear the hip hop album, because it's such a like evolution, in my opinion, of Lil Wayne's style. Honestly, and whenever he does that shit, it reminds me of Lil Wayne. It reminds me kind of the lineage. So, and I'm waiting for that album because I'm right there as a Kendrick fan. I'm a Kendrick fan, but I'm right there with everybody else. I'm not stupid. I'm ready to say Drake is the most impactful hip hop artist of all time. But you really need to give us the classic hip hop album, which, to be honest, it's arguable whether or not he's done that or not.
And I was gonna say, man, I think finally this is the album we have to accept it, man. He's not just a hip hop artist, bro. Every album we're just expecting different. Like, okay, he gonna give us that one album, but every album he gotta appease 100 different kind of fans. Yeah, and I'm just like, we gotta acknowledge it finally, bro. Because I keep thinking we gonna get a hip hop album, we not gonna get one.
Yeah, and I think
he's not a hip hop.
I think we can say that
he's a pop artist.
When he's infused is when we get his best music. Like, don't poke the bear.
So it's gonna piss him off.
Yeah. So if now this Joe Budden shit would have happened, I'm not saying for the whole album, but we would have had a track about this, and he would have ate Joe Budden alive.
He always taking pokes, no matter what.
Huh?
Yeah, he always taking pokes.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I really poked the bear. So he ain't really have nothing that, like, all right, he just out there. Like when he was beefing with Kanye, they was dropping fucking fire heat. You know what I mean? So he didn't really have that.
I mean, hey, competition breeds. You know what I mean?
I did like Amen. There are a few songs.
There's a few songs. Like I said, first of all, I haven't even heard the whole thing. If I'm being 100% honest with you, so I'm just saying. I know how his albums get, bro, and you gotta go through it.
He's a two-spin. He's a two-spin.
Yeah, you gotta listen to it in different situations. You can't just listen on the way to work when you about to go deal with some bullshit.
I've had shit go on me with as far as like Drake albums and stuff like that, and especially when I'm going into it with the wrong expectations. So I am interested to go back into it and think of it differently.
Fair enough.
Although, you know, it still will affect my criticism, because I still think that's fair criticism from somebody he's in that conversation. And the thing is, you can't take him out of the conversation, but that has to affect his standing when you're comparing him to J. Cole, who is, I'm not the biggest.
How you feel about that song?
Bro, he fucking killed him. Oh my, that's why, bro, the question, you saw the other question I put where it's like, who got killed the most on their own song? Shit. Yeah, bro.
But see, I feel like,
I mean, that was
a problem I had with Drake on the album, if I'm being honest. And I guess not really with Cole, I guess with Drake, because the way the way the song came in, they're both addressing the elephant in the room.
Sure,
who's the best rapper? You know, Drake should have rapped for real. Like he did his little play, changed the beat. Nah, you should have rapped on the same beat Cole went on.
Bars of bars.
You should have went on the same beat Cole went
now
on.
you mentioned that too. That's disgusting.
That's a problem. That's one problem I did have with Drake. I feel like he should have took that competition right
100%.
there.
But see, I feel like they're the same but different because again their impacts are different. So J. Cole is more that bar for bar type.
Yeah,
Drake is not his whole thing is a bunch of more hip hop.
But that's part. But that's part of
production. But
that's part of when you say greatest of all time. That's the part of the conversation.
Sure. Yes. No. Because again, for somebody who it's elephant in the room, but a big Eminem fan, right?
Yeah.
What
he said?
Here's the thing.
I'm saying lyrics or production, right? Production. So that's what I'm saying. Like I just don't think that. But anytime you bring someone like J. Cole on, he's probably going to fucking body you on your own track.
But the thing is, in most cases, but with Drake, that's not just a foregone conclusion. Because if 8 a.m. in Charlotte Drake would have shown up, it would have been a conversation.
Fair enough.
So he has that ability, and we as fans, people that have supported his music, for a long ass time, we know that. Go ahead.
I feel like it just goes back into what I was saying. We're never gonna get what we want, right? Because we can argue and say who's the better rapper, J. Cole or Drake, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if we take a step back, who's the bigger artist?
Sure,
Drake. It's not even a question.
But J. Cole's a better rapper.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's part of the criteria. But when you're having the conversation, barbershop talk or whatever you want to say, that's part of the criteria. That's not the whole conversation. I
think they hold different responsibilities, bro.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
You know what I mean?
No, I do feel you. I just think, though, kind of the point that I already made kind of is where I kind of stand on it. Is that we know in 8 a.m. and you said it, like if 8 a.m. in Charlotte Drake shows up on that same track with J. Cole, then it's a conversation to be had. So we know he has the ability. That's not even a question. We're not like, it's not hypotheticals. We know that. It just didn't show up. And to your point, change the whole beat, like really, like
he really went away from it.
Yeah,
he really went away from the challenge, bro.
Yeah. That's a switch. Bro. He did a switch on the basketball court. He said switch.
He really did, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's why, but we don't see this from him. Like you know what I mean, we don't see him kind of backing down. He at least would have gave us something. You know what I mean? Especially the old
the track though was a great track.
Yeah. Especially the old.
That's one of my favorite comments.
Especially the old Drizzy, but. I mean, it is what it is. It just sucks now that he's taking a break because the Drizzy that I know, bro, he's a marketing genius. He would have gave us this bullshit, and guess what happened on Monday? He's dropping a whole new album.
Mixtape.
To flame this shit. You know what I mean?
My thing is this though. I would be honest.
To flame this shit, like, I gave you all this, but this ain't nothing. This is the real shit.
That was the decoy.
I gotta see
Exactly.
it. I gotta see it to believe it, bro.
What's that?
Because listen, I remember when me and you was in an apartment one time listening on the way to Tampa, listening to Drake, right? Since that time, that was like 14, 15 years ago.
Easy.
He ain't never took a year off. So I got to see it, bro.
Yeah.
I got to see it.
Yeah, but we're talking about...
He came from the Wayne tree, bro. I ain't never seen Wayne take a year off.
Yeah.
I got to see it.
Well, we'll see, but maybe even part of this...
Oh, word?
But, bro, maybe this is even part of that, like a non-direct... admitting that I don't really have much to. I've been giving y'all like more than like not taking a year off, dropping several albums in a year. Like, bro, I don't really have too much more to say to y'all right now. Let me go live.
Part of Drake's greatness is his pettiness, bro. So niggas, while he's gone, they're gonna be taking shots.
I agree.
If you think Drake's just gonna sit there,
better be in the right end.
I promise you,
I
he dropping
think
something on him, bro.
I think what taking a break. I partially agree with you, but it's like I think what taking a break to him means is going to be different than what it means to most artists. So I think it'll probably just be a year, which is for most artists like Kendrick, like people at his level, they're dropping every 2-3 years.
This is
maybe
normal.
I mean,
but
even J. Cole,
but
like, he didn't drop for several years.
But I mean, like, let's be real. How many
crazy.
people drop albums now? The game's changing. How many people drop albums consistently?
Drake.
Yeah, but he said he's gonna hold it up. He said he's gonna hold it up.
Drake, Drake. I
Drake
mean,
and Future. The only people who dropping albums consistently.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. So
year.
now he's probably phasing back. Like, yo, I don't need to be dropping albums like this no more.
he didn't need to do it anyway.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean,
So he's probably like, yo, I'm going with it. That's probably what he means. He's taking a break. You know what I mean? Away from this shit. It's like,
so you think there's no
He's still gonna hop on features?
yeah, for sure. That's what I mean. Like, we're still gonna hear him, but I think we're talking about like a whole project. We're not getting that.
And he has such a crazy social presence.
We're not.
To your point, him being a marketing genius, he doesn't even have to rap to have his name going crazy. Yeah. He had some crazy period of time where he had a song on the Billboard charts.
Like, yeah.
For like years.
Like he's right now, I think he's one hit away. They
from
said
Michael Jackson, yeah,
exactly.
So he's going to pass that for sure here, and you know, yeah, he's gonna take a break. I mean, I believe, yeah, that's a time to take a break. Like shit, you just passed Michael Jackson, like sit on that for a year, still be like out in the spaces and all that. Probably do feature verses. I
also don't think he's gonna take a real break because he always talks about old rappers. So I feel like he's gonna get it out of his system. He's not gonna become what he's talking about.
Well, he needs to just retire at this point. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he might just use his time to write one last big album, and then shit, how old is his son? Maybe he wants to just be a dad.
I think that's a great point, but this is just my pushback I want to give there. As a rapper, why? What's the incentive to retire? Because it's something you can just do at home if you want. Like you could just do it at a different level. So like a lot of these guys have studios in their house. Yes, you could just peel back a little bit.
But Drake can't do it at a different level.
I think people retire because that writing's on the wall. Because they don't want to. They just, no one's buying your shit, bro.
Every time,
like you look at all these motherfuckers saying that they're retiring.
I'm just saying, if you want to do it, then my point is, like, we just had Nas drop 3 albums with Hit Boy. They went crazy, and that's where part of that is I just listened to the last part of that trilogy. And it might even be 4 albums, but I listened to the last one of that, and I'm listening to that. I'm hearing how much Nas, and of course Nas always has been one of the smartest, most intelligent.
Yeah, that's Nas.
Well, bro, but he still has transformed. Like he's talking about investments and shit on his songs now. He's talking about family life. Like I think Drake, I respect him as a writer so much, and I think that at the beginning of his career, so much of it was based off like really digging into like empathy and like being able to like, that's why he was weird. And it's like, now I want to hear that from you as a father. Right. Like I could relate to that. And I know that's your life. Presumably you got your fucking kid fucking up the album, rapping on this shit. You decided to embarrass him. As a matter of fact, I think he's a sicko. I think like he's one of those parents, he's like, yeah, not as good as me, obviously. Look at him. Jesus fuck.
but
I'm Drake.
I think with Drake, and with artists, retirement would be like taking like several years off, and then he can do that. I mean,
but that's not retirement. If you have any, you could just go back into it.
It's because today's age, you can do anything you want on your own.
But
before retirement, you have to then get picked up by a
But we're talking about today's age.
Right. So sure, that no artist is ever fully retired.
Well, just they don't have to. And people do say that, but like I said, what's the incentive? It's not like a football player where it's like, okay, nobody will let me play football anymore, so I got to retire.
We're talking about a break. So I'm just saying,
bro. Usher coming back in full.
Jesus.
He got a Super Bowl.
What the hell?
But like
he deserves it.
If 50 were to come out with something, whenever any of these older rappers come out with something, people always got some shit to say about, why are they selling the game? Or they rap about, and then Nas is talking about investments. Most rappers, bro, if you come out at 40 years old and you still talking about the same shit, you're talking about at 20. Come on, man.
But I will say this: a lot of rappers, these rappers are older than what we think. 2 Chainz when he dropped, 2 Chainz like 40-something years old. Yeah. Jay-Z, look how old, you know what I mean?
But even Jay-Z's music changed. Eminem's music. Like I said, we should separate Drake from these guys and put training wheels on them. It's like, well, I mean, but earlier you were like, well, that's Nas. It's like Jay-Z dropped 444. I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan. That album, hugely relatable, amazing album about like infidelity and all kinds of crazy shit. So I mean, I think that who's the Eminem? Okay, so instead of talking about being a drug addict, he's talking about getting off drugs and being a good father. Like they evolved. Yeah. Like this shit is there's no evolution here. That's what I'm
saying. Better take some time. And
you're forgetting the fact he doesn't even want us to know he has a son.
Well, but that changed now. Now he's fucking saying, "Hey, fucking do this fucking picture, make it my album cover." God, and then let's stop the whole music mid video. Hey, what the fuck is SB for? I don't fucking know. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching, man? This is an idol worship.
Nah, bro, it's just dope, man. If you in that platform, bro, I'm gonna have my kid on TV too, bro. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's
but you know what I mean? Like,
no, I feel you. I'm really just giving him a hard time. All the other shit I really mean though. I was just being funny there though. But so before we get off this topic, I want to make sure that we touch on the Joe Budden part. You touched on it, Jay, but we're gonna read the comment. This was under a post on Instagram from Academics. Champagne Poppy, during his time celebrating his release, he decided, let me just take a second And if me or you wrote this in a group chat, Paul, they'd say it was a fucking novel. I'll just let you know that.
Yeah.
So hold on, there's context though. You gonna talk about what Joe Budden said?
Say what Joe.
Oh yeah, Joe. I mean, Joe said that one of the things he said he should hang out with people his age, and that he just kind of similar criticism to what we've had, where it's like he needs to update his content. And yeah, so Champagne Poppy's reaction, response to that is at Joe Budden, because this isn't under Joe Budden's post, so he definitely wanted to make sure he saw it. You have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip, because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of the recipe of success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke living check to check. He's on some Evan Neal shit against fucking against Joe Budden right now. And the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty E-Nice jeans to screw up their face to Music 29 and pretend you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. Ooh, yeah. When a motherfucker uses a word to insult you don't hear every day, it stings extra. You retired. There goes that word. And he did. You retired, and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you. We know you for doing this. Oh, by the way, what we're doing right now. You withdraw from rap, not because you accomplished all you need to. It's because it wasn't working for you. You never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their opinion thing is real. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. Yeah. If you need it put in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in 7.3 and flies first class on special occasions. The end. And there's no emojis here, just in case you were wondering. He usually
was not joking.
Throw some emojis. This wasn't friendly. So yeah, and it got a couple thousand likes. I mean, for me to act like Joe Budden shouldn't be talking about hip hop is laughable, and kind of speaks to the sensitivity around the criticism, which may speak to the validity to it, or maybe just insecurity. I don't know, but definitely Joe Budden of all people. And I mean, part of what we talked about, when you put art out, it doesn't belong to you anymore. The point is to, I mean, it's great you can monetize it, but it's for it to be criticized, or else listen to it yourself.
Yeah, I think the criticism, people have an opinion, but I think what he's just saying is this is always what you're getting out of Joe. Yeah, Joe's always hating. You see what I'm saying? Like, this nigga
Joe's not always hating, though. Or sometimes Joe was just talking about.
I think it's even deeper than that. I think it's to the point we was talking about earlier, bro. Like, he don't give a fuck. He's telling artists, don't give a fuck what they say.
Yeah.
If you
no, I mean, that's music, fair.
I just think that's what he's saying. Like, bro, if you want to make a certain type of music, don't listen to Joe Budden or
that's fair. Anybody.
I mean, is saying they don't like the shit. Make the fucking track, bro. Yeah. I think that's to the point. I think that's where he's at. Like I'm saying, bro, he don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Same thing with Beyonce. She don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah. Like, I feel it.
I'm gonna make my songs, bro.
Yeah.
For me at this point.
Which you know what I mean? I think artistry is beautiful, and I get it. And I'm all for it, but like Joe Budden, I agree, man. The guy, he's a hater, bro. Majority of the things, like anyone great, the man just really just hates on, bro. Like everyone.
I don't agree with that. No, do y'all watch the show? Be honest.
Once in a while.
No, I don't watch. I watch
it every.
I watch the clips off of it. He always has fucking snippets.
Well, but he does always have snippets, and maybe you catch the ones he's hating.
He's just a weird guy.
I haven't watched him in a little bit. I used to watch him often, bro.
Well, this is what I'll say. As somebody that watches the show, a lot of times, to the even point where it's annoying, he's big up in Drake and like giving him like the most credit, rightfully so. You know what I mean? So it's like
the clips I watch when he's giving Drake credit, bro. I feel like it's the backhanded compliments,
maybe. You know, and that might be my mistake.
Them niggas been had beef, bro. It's not like it's always been love.
I take things at face value a lot, and that might be my mistake. When I'm hearing him say that, I'm assuming that it's genuine, which maybe it's not. There are times when I catch like a lot of like where I catch sarcasm there, but it's just so consistent that he's like basically he just gives Drake his flowers, in my opinion. Nobody's fucking with him, And I think his criticism there, that at least I had, and I think a lot of us had, it's valid. And but I mean, you could disagree with it. The same thing we said about Evan Neal. If he wants to say, and there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. A lot of coming from the highest level of being able to make money in hip hop music. He's got some very good wisdom there with saying, don't let it affect your artistic process. I'm with that, but then past that, like I said, to just like belittle and like attack. He all this is about attacking Joe's character. Because none of it addresses his criticism. None of it. He never once addresses what he said in the clip. He doesn't say like, I'm not too old for that. It was actually, this is what I was saying. It's all, I'm going to attack the person talking on the video. So
yeah, he definitely took his shots. definitely pulled the whole Richard Sherman. I'm better at life than you, Skip.
Yeah,
like where he's just like, I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this and you.
Yeah, that happened on when did that happen recently?
No, like 6 years ago,
6 or 7 years ago. Yeah,
it came on First Take.
Oh, dude, it was beautiful.
But I think it hits different because Skip Bayless was never a football player. Joe Budden was a rapper. Right? God damn.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, and that's part of like to treat his opinion as if it's completely insane and his contribution, because I mean there's a lot of like artistic contribution that he did have, and if we want to, I don't want to. I think it's kind of silly.
Talk about his house like that.
Talk about his house.
Like,
shit on the man's house.
Said he flies private sometimes.
Sometimes when it's convenient for him, when there's a deal.
Occasion.
Special occasion. What he means by that is discount.
So he's sitting next to all the fucking hamburger flippers and all the hot dog flippers.
He's one of us.
So when that little skit on Drake's album, was that about Joe Budden?
What's that?
That little skit on his album with the girl talking, like they said there was no first class.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's why he went with that whole thing. Yeah, that's the thing. But the thing, if you're gonna make it,
and he be petty like that.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make it this,
I don't know.
If you're gonna make it this difficult to decode, like I mean, I got it. Like, come on, man.
But that's Drake, bro. That's what
I'm
trying.
Hey, he's King Petty too.
It's
that shit
bro.
would be.
But now we're giving him credit for shit we don't even know.
Hey, no, fuck it.
Because it's like maybe, which is fair.
You convinced me.
That's the credit in it. That's the credit in itself, though. You don't even know, but you got to give him the credit because that is true. He's capable.
That is true. Well, I mean, we can, Kev, we'll see maybe, because I mean, I know you really dig on to hip hop, so maybe you want to talk about this album a little bit more after you sat with it. Maybe in the future we'll sit down and talk about it a little bit more. But that was the Drake.